A little more consistency. We have a chance to play enough guys. You need more than just starters. So it's timing, so that the quarterbacks trust they're going to be in spots on time. A sense of urgency to beat man-to-man challenge coverage, so protection lasts, because if you take all day when you're getting challenged, the protection breaks down. So it's consistency. We've had, to me, whether it be competitive or casual drops, kind of trying to minimize that. I think if you drop, like the other day, we had one of the times we didn't score, we had a wide open pass for 7 on 1st and 10. We dropped. At 2nd and 3, you get the drive started, you get momentum. So typically it's about 80% of the time you punt. If there's a drop pass, it's really much different than a penalty or a negative play. It's like, hey, everything's worked, we got everybody blocked, the guy's open, make the right choice, and you don't complete the play. So we got to keep working on taking care of the drops, playing a little more consistent. And as they play, just learn how to play physical. They're playing faster. They're out there in space and running around, and we're gaining on them.
How do things change now that school starts for them?
They make us go to class. Because college football is a heck of a deal. Now we've got to be those student athletes. No, it's and we're really excited and intrigued by our morning work. We'll see how it goes, and quite honestly, there's some things calendar-wise that we have nothing to do with it. Really set up well. A chance to go through this week without it being game week. Just to get in the routine of when I got to be, where I got to be, and get my flow and my schedule, enough time to eat, not be rushed, enough time to be on class, get my academic commitment, my tutoring and mentoring and academic support time figured out, my treatment time and all that. So around here the 11 o'clock class, the 1 o'clock class hour is very, very, very big, and a lot of those go to 2:15, and it was hard for our kids to take those classes and really get over here till 3, and to me that got us going too late. And study hall academics got too late. You're still going to be like, I don't care what time I get home. If I'm recruiting and get in at 11 or 12, I'm going to watch a couple hours of TV just to veg out. You need your getaway time. So that being said, we're hoping this morning deal will get the academics more in the afternoon, get us on a little bit more of a normal biological clock. I think I saw a few months ago that I think the average college kid, if he were to get 7 hours of sleep, is living on a 27-hour day. But by the time they do all their stuff, and I'm not talking athletes, I'm just talking by the time you waste all that time of Facebooking and Twittering and doing your job and doing your academics. So what gets deprived of sleep? And it's hard to be a good football team when you're not resting. You don't recover physically, you're not fresh, you can't practice fast at receiver or any position. So it'll be interesting this first week if we can get this clock down as we go to morning practices, trying to get off the field between about 11:05. If some kids don't have 1 o'clock classes, they might do a little extra on their own, but trying to get, we actually had lifting at 6:30, so our guys physically are done. And the rest of the day, we might, if they can, get back over and watch a little tape, but physically, their football day's over, now they're students the rest of the day.
Had you ever done this at any other stop along the way? Or?
I'm not a morning guy.
So how did that, just something that came about?
Yeah, well, what we did last year, I don't know if you guys remember, we actually a couple of days were splitting practices, and we started by having morning meetings, because I thought if we went to 3 o'clock in a long work day in college sports is a 4-hour day. I thought 3 to 7 was too late, especially when the sun starts setting. You're leaving when it's dark and it's dreary and it's like dull, and it's just, there's not a good vibe. So we tried to go 3 to 6, and we tried to steal an hour in the morning. Well, we started out by doing meetings. I don't think those meetings were very productive because I don't know if we were awake. So then we said, well, let's practice for 45 minutes in the morning and come back in the afternoon. Well, if you got a bad groin, you got to stretch twice. If you're a quarterback, you got to get heated up twice. You got to tape twice. You got to shower twice. It was just a lot of stress. As young as we were last year, I don't know if it mattered because we were trying to practice and toughen up and get some young guys ready. This year, I didn't want to practice that way. And we looked at last year the morning routine. Never done it, not truly being a great morning person. We thought the split deal wasn't one of our issues last year, but moving forward, I didn't want to split it this year. So we're going with the morning. I've seen Oregon do it a few years ago when I visited Coach Kelly, and I asked a couple kids as soon as practice, what do you think? And they go, hey, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I got my classes, but I'm done. And even Wise just says something, one of the guys, he says, hey, I know I ain't got to run the rest of the day. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. It's not going to be the answer. We're just trying to find the best way to keep having productive days. And I'm very grateful by academic scheduling. We get a week to try it before game week. So hopefully we can work out the kinks this week.
Midway through the month, what do you like out of your secondary, and what do you want to see more?
Don't tackle well enough. We're not getting plays on balls, and maybe that means because I think we're throwing it better and throwing it cleaner. But we've had a bunch of scrimmage snaps and we hadn't had a pick yet. So that's good and bad. Which way I want to see it. It's good one way. It's really good. Matter of fact, we haven't had a turnover in 230-plus snaps. That's pretty good, and that's going to be winning football. But we also need to get the ball to play winning football. So it's a double-edged sword, and that to me is the difficult deal when you go against each other. You know, is one side really better than the other side, or is one side really not doing well? And so, you know, we need the secondary. You know, get the ball, and of course, and that's based on what we're doing. You know, we're doing a lot of things. The ball gets out in space, and you've got to tackle in space. And so I'd like to see us tackle better. I tell you what I'm pleased by is I'm actually short-term pleased, and be interested to see if they continue. But we've moved Flo Harden from safety to backer, but he showed up the other night. Drew Harden, who's been here for a couple years, showed up. Brian Williams. I was just writing like who made plays, and I kept writing 6 and 4 down the bunch. Not that they're the answer, but it's nice to see. The junior college players, no different than Stephen Houston. It's you know, I'm a little disappointed with the spring guys. I'd like to see more out of Ryan. He's probably doing the best, but the 2 guys that just got here late, it's just learning how to practice. It's learning how to pay attention in a meeting. It's learning how to listen and not take it personal. But that's my performance, and I need to you know, learn and grow and understand. So. We got to make some strides. We got you know, I don't know. Offensively, down the stretch last week looked pretty good. I like the defense to do, so maybe the offense is doing good. I was a little disappointed we didn't play better defensively. Maybe offense is doing good. We'll see. I don't know. It's always hard for me to answer that.
Would you go so far as to say you're settled at quarterback now that Trey is kind of the guy, or are you still open to a degree?
You know, again, and I don't know if anything's settled. We still got to keep performing. But the thing I do like, contrary to other guys here, he has been the first guy that's a pretty good player that has embraced the challenge in a competition, and he's competed. You know, Isaiah Roundtree's been out a couple of days with the concussion he got 4 days ago. Stephen Houston might be 3rd or 4th because those other guys. D'Angelo was out there first the other night, and he was out there first all week. And Tevin Coleman was 2nd. That's good competition. But I don't think Stephen's embracing it like Trey. There's very good competition at quarterback, but Trey's fighting in a great way. And to be a program that needs to start playing at a better level, I keep talking about those senior D tackles. Give us more. Don't just be the first guy jogging on the field. Will Maddie is a senior that's giving us more, and that's great to see. And Trey is really decent. He's gotten a lot better in the passing game, but he's really embraced the competition. And in building our program, it's one of the few times I've said that's what it looks like. If you're a good player and you keep fighting. I'd like to see some other guys keep learning to do that. We'll see if they do.
In terms of the competition, is this a week where really the guys that are currently running 1 or 2 get most of the reps?
Yeah, we did about half good on good, and we did some situations, and we did a little scout team work first day to kind of teach them. But like for example, if you're a first-year walk-on, the preseason is the greatest deal ever. Because you get 4 meals a day, and you do about 15 minutes individual, and you run a over and back, couple gassers, and that's a day. And you stand around. Now, once scout team happens, the best thing in the world is being second team, because you don't get enough plays. So actually, our scout team, sometimes we have the second team go, because it's better competition, good on good, and 2, they need the work because they don't get that much work. If we're doing a set of 6 plays, it's 4 for the 1s, 2 for the 2s. If we're doing 10 plays, it's 7 and 3 or 6 and 4. So the 2s get less work, and that quarterback's 1 play away. And I don't know if you've seen us practice any time. Sometimes we have the second quarterback stand out there and actually try to play. It's because he doesn't get enough plays. Even if it's not a ball, we're trying to, instead of just osmosis and sitting over here, we try to really try to get you playing. Yeah. So that being said, we are going some good on good to sharpen ourselves a little bit more. We are starting some scout team work. We are doing some things with timing. I do think, again, if you look at it receiver-wise, I think Cody's came on in a good way, and Stoner outside. The 2 inside guys with Shane, who I think's been outstanding. And Ricky Jones is good. We got Kofi, who's got a suspension, and DeWeese. That's kind of the top 6. And it's kind of like those other 4 are 4 and it's 5-6. And you know those other guys are pretty good players, so there's a little bit of play there. You got Ted Bolger playing really good. Need a little bit better backup tight end play with Charles or young guy Casaro and Kern. So, but that's another piece. Then you go to running back. You got a couple 3 that are competitive. You throw Trey out there, and there's a lot of pieces. And you got a quarterback that can run. Now we're throwing it better. You're throwing it to a lot of spots. It's a lot of stress. Defensively, we got a bunch of DBs, but I don't know if anybody's separated. I don't know if 1s are that much better than 2s. And so it'd be interesting to see the skill set there. The line play, the O-line's gotten to where combatively they're playing harder. And with that, the run game's gotten going. The D-ends are getting better, but we need more there. We really need more out of the D tackles. As good as they are, they need to impact our play more. So we're not complaining about DBs because we're pushing the pocket and getting the quarterback to reset his feet and all that stuff. Linebacker play, needs to be better. Even those JC guys, the other night, they need to make more plays than they make. So secondary, back end needs to show up and make more plays than they did tonight.
You mentioned senior D tackles. We saw Nick Sliger under the 10 a little bit. What's his status? Is he all right? Or?
Yeah, we kind of got lucky because he kind of got rolled up, but he doesn't have any damage as far as cartilage, ligaments, surgery. But he's kind of got a pretty nasty little kind of bone bruise deal. So we'll see as we go. It's week 2, 3. It's going to be a motion movement deal and a pain tolerance deal, but it's not going to be a surgical, and it's not really a rehab. It did swell up on him. And I don't know, he might have had maybe of a sublux of a patella. You really don't know by the time there was in place. But there's no cartilage, no ligament, no surgery. We'll see, and hopefully, he says a week or 2. We'll see. He's got the right attitude. We'll see if the body wants to work with him.
You mentioned Kofi in the suspension. Does that really change anything he does in the preseason camp, though? Or does he still get?
Well, right now we've been working him in the rotation, and then maybe the week of the game he'll be probably a little more maybe on prep work with anyone suspended. If you're not, there's a point where if you're going to have a role, we got to keep you into it. But if we put you on the shelf, it takes forever to get you back. So there's a balance. But that specific week, we'll probably do a little polishing to keep him oiled up, but have him concentrate a little bit more with the scout.
Is the plan to have all 3 of those guys will serve that for Indiana State?
I don't know. Let Coach Miles know that. I mean, everybody knows him. He's neighbors to us. We tried to hire him here, and almost did. So you guys know him, so I can't give Trent all the good words. He called me about a couple of transfers, and we talked about him. So we're good friends. We'll let him figure it out. They got a good team, so they don't need to know. They don't need to know. But it's a one game. We'll pick it as needed. You say that now. What happens if a bomb went off and and all of a sudden the position was weak? So you can, you just kind of see how things play out. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. What else? Good?
That's it.
Yep. Appreciate it. You guys straight?
You're not expecting any bomb.